Tonight is our Series 3 finale of That Part podcast. We originally developed this podcast to pretty much talk about politics in South Florida, to be able to make it digestible for y'all so y'all could get involved with the democratic process and democracy. And then, since this is not an election year, we decided to pivot a little bit with the last 2 episodes that we did. So the last one we did, we were talking about Miami Northwestern and their whole situation there with the football team and Teddy Bridgewater. We were able to also break some news on that, so that was pretty cool. And to end our season, we're actually talking about the Miami music scene. This is a topic that we talk about in silos, but we don't get to talk about it on a platform and really get to talk to some, what I deem as experts and also fresh approaches on this topic. So that's what we're gonna tackle tonight. So we are joined by Grammy award-winning writer, producer, the one and only Rico Love in the building. Hometown female recording artist, no Jwettz in the building. Event curator and promotional leader, Spase Jenkins, the team. Home team rapper, the one and only recording artist, Bushy B. And the legend himself, the man himself, the mogul, the CEO of Slip and Slide Records, the one and only Ted Lucas in the building. And please, allow me to introduce my very special and amazing co-host. She is the founder and publisher of High Low News. It is South Florida's hyperlocal news. She does an amazing job. She's also the person who's been responsible for me to be woke and get involved with politics and just understanding what's going on in the community. This is why we still rock out and do things like this to this day. Y'all make some noise for the one and only Janae Tate. And I'm Papa Keith. All right. All right, we're going to get this party started. Janae, I'll let you kick off.
Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? I'm going to project and maybe, a little yelly, but that's okay. So I'm going to always kick off our show with our first question. And this one, everyone can answer. And Ted, we'll start with you and we'll round robin around the panel. How would you describe the current state of hip hop and R&B in Miami?
Start off with me. Wow. All right. We're in a serious situation for hip hop, period, overall. But Miami, every 2-3 years, we always seen someone else coming along and you've seen it like that person developing. I said probably been the last 8 years that we've seen a superstar created from South Florida. And that's concerning to me because Luke and Two Live Crew paved the way, JT paved the way, and then we came. We always had somebody to pass that baton on to help come next. And I think that it's important that we find that next artist and wrap our arms around them and support that next artist. We can't be individuals just worrying about ourselves. We, as promoters and everybody, we got to find that artist and help break that artist and keep that spotlight on South Florida. I mean, y'all, I worked very hard to get the name Slip and Slide ringing in South Florida. I worked very hard for people all around the country to respect South Florida music. And I think that we can't let it die. We got to keep pouring gasoline on and keep it going. So that's what I feel about it, where we at right now.
I think sonically, there's a very unique sound and a very original sound in South Florida, especially in Miami and Dade. Obviously, Broward is getting a lot of love with Kodak and all the artists coming out of there. But I think that Dade has a very specific sound. And I think that it's about consistency. The problem, I think, with a lot of Miami artists is that there's a certain level of entitlement. Being from such a powerful city, you feel like my record is moving. It should just catch on everywhere else. So it's a certain level of consistency that has to be put in. You have to erase the idea of anybody owes you anything and make it more about this record is working, so I need another one to work and another one to work and another work. When I first came down here, Flo Rida was just about to pop off, but he already had like 5 records in the streets that was booming. So before he had Low, he had already had a following, right? Same with Ball Greasy, same with Billy Blue, and it was a whole sound, and it was a consistent sound, but also it was like different because all 3 of those cats I just named had different sounds, but you knew they was from a similar area. And I think Ross was at the forefront. Trina's was still buzzing at that time. I think Trick had sun, Drop the Top and Let the Sun Shine. That was around that time. So it was so many different things moving. The problem now, I think, is just a little bit of entitlement. Once you get past that entitlement, understand you got to just really put your head down and keep working and work a record even after you got 1 that's going. Try to have 10 that's going. You know what I mean? And that's how you build an audience and a following.
Well, this is. Go ahead, Teddy.
Good job, Rico. Hey, I want to explain, so I want everybody to hear this, right? A lot of people don't know. Kodak Black was on Dollars and Deals. Anybody in here remember that label? Dollars and Deals. All right. That was an A&R that worked for me, AD. He signed Kodak Black, right? Kodak Black, Project Baby 1 and 2, that was distributed by Slip and Slide. I kept my mouth closed. I supported Dollars and Deals and helped them to get to the point to be able to put them records out for them to be able to go get them deals. That's what I mean by putting your arms around other people and helping them win and helping them accomplish what they want to accomplish. We didn't have to get all the props or nothing, but we wanted to make sure another label was developed, Dollars and Deals that came from underneath the Slip and Slide tree, and we helped them even put the artwork together for Project Baby 1 and 2. You go look at Project Baby 1 and 2, you're going to see Slip and Slide Records was the distributor on those 2. But we wasn't in it for ourselves. It was about building up that next label. That's what I mean about it's important that we help each other build and keep going.
That's what's up. All right. I didn't even know that. Yeah, for real. I'm interested to hear now from No Jwettz, which is actually an up-and-coming artist, been doing a thing for a few years. Your perspective on the scene as well.
Sorry, I'm naturally a little talker, but for me, I feel like I've been in the music industry for about 2016. I feel like there has been some changes. It was a little easier back then, you know, just by like, as long as they see you got the potential, they willing to invest in you type of thing. But now we like more in a season where it's like, they looking for a 5-5 artist. Like they not looking for artists that got this and got that and a little bit of like, they looking for artists for me right now that consistent, got the clout, not the clout, but they got the numbers, got the engagement, got the songs, got the team, you know, and they just want to, you know, for me, it just feel like it's the consistency. It's very hard for some artists because us watching other people outside looking in and just look like, oh, all I got to do is look good. Drop a video, drop a hit song, and I should make it. You know how many times I said, oh, this song gonna take me out the hood, like, you know? And I realized as it was not about that. They was looking for consistency. Like, how far are you willing to go about your dream? How far are you willing to go for it? Like, regardless if it worked today, tomorrow, next month, next year, or in the next 5 years, is this something that you gonna continue to stand on? So for me, it's consistency. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, when we say when artists, especially young artists, when they say they're looking for this, they don't even exist no more, by the way. The record company has no power. The record company does not have the ability to break you as an artist. The record company pays me a ton of money every day to do things that probably never come out. They get songs, they buy songs, they put the songs out. The songs get no traction because radio does not break the artist anymore. Now the program director's hands are tied. They can't even break new songs. The song has to have a certain amount of streams before it even can be played on the radio. You're not able. I think you guys are one of the few stations that still do new artists and play new songs, but most of the country's not playing new songs. The record industry does not have the power to break you. They want you to have the audience and build the audience. After you build the audience, they come and give you a check. Now, it works out a lot better for the artists now because they're able to get a significant amount of money. If they're smart, they'll get equity. And they'll start saying, instead of me taking this huge check, I'd rather take this from the back end. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think that the idea of we got to get that out of their mind. They got no power. The record companies have no clue what they're doing. They don't know how to break an artist. They'll tell you though, by the way. They have no clue. They're being very transparent these days. We don't know what to do. Just bring it already done. Now, if it's something that's exceptional, we'll sign it and help try to develop it and give it a small amount of budget because they don't want to give it too much money because if you give it too much money and they blow their wad, they won't have the longevity. So some artists, they'll just give them penny pinch them and give them a little bit to keep them afloat. And then before you know it, if the artists break, they break. But they don't have no juice no more.
That's what's up. Bushy B, tap in on that one, brother.
I like all the perspectives. I agree with consistency. I agree with there were labels at the crib that did come and put an umbrella over other artists. But like as for like my class, we like created a pact. It was like, man, if they come get us or not, we gonna do our thing. You know, so it wasn't a stiff to the older generation. It was just like, we ain't waiting on them. You know, so and me, man, I bridge with the young and the old. You know, I be moving around. I'm the person that come mediate everything. But so I get a couple shots here and there, but it's cool. But I do agree with everybody. It's definitely consistency. And man, look at my story, man. I got a song that blew up 7 years later. You know, and during them 7 years, I never stopped. You know what I'm saying? That's a test to like, yeah, just stay consistent. That's it.
Good evening, everybody. I think everyone definitely has a valid point. It all kind of wraps up. If you kind of the core of it is support. I think the biggest thing Miami has is we need a better core foundation of support, whether it's from a record label, hypothetically, it's from our peers, from the radio. Everybody kind of, if you listen to it, the core foundation is there has been a lack of support in some for whatever reason, right? Whether it's economical, whether it's jealousy, envy. I mean, I think we have to unpack that because I think the talent is here. I think sometimes we get a bad rap saying there's no talent. The support is not here. Now, I'm not saying Atlanta's euphoria. I'm not saying any Texas. I just think for some strange reason, we don't support each other. And that's coming from a promoter standpoint. That's coming from artists. That's coming from a record label. That's coming from a producer. I think, and artists, young or old, the era of when Ross, Khaled, Flo, everybody who made it out, unfortunately, that support has, for whatever reason, I can't explain. I probably get a Nobel Peace Prize if I can explain. It's not there. You know what I mean? So from a small company like ourselves, wink, wink, we had to leave. Most of our shows are on the road now. And either you're going to sit here and drown or you're going to make it happen. And I think all of us on this panel probably have done the same. We say, hey, you're not going to support it? We're going to come back, right? They didn't support Jesus until he came back. So, it's just, I think the support, for whatever reason, I'm not judging, I just think that needs to be unpacked. And I think once we find out why that's the reason, everybody on here probably have plaques on this panel.
All right, for me, this is my opinion. When he's talking about the support, it starts with the radio. Because when I go to another city, I hear the sound of that city. So when I go to Atlanta, I hear Atlanta. When I go to Houston, I hear Houston. I used to hear New York when I used to go to New York. But in Miami, you may get like a local hour or a local talent, something, but that's not enough. If the same sound is reverberated through the town over and over and over, the support will grow, in my humble opinion. Not to just dispute what Rico was saying, but it's just, in my opinion, from seeing it from the outside looking in, the more you support your city, the more your city, your members or the artists in your city has a chance to escape. And that's just my opinion. Because there's no reason why Ball Greasy shouldn't be a household name around the country. Even Bushy B, Iceberg, all these artists that we love and we revere that are from here.
They've been consistent.
And they've been working really, really hard.
20 plus years.
Out of towns will come here and know their music and take it back home. You remember back in the days with the street teams, we're from the ilk of the DWOs, the po' boys, super guerrilla marketing. When people came here, they found out who Trick Daddy was. Mm-hmm. They found out who Ross was. And then those people took it back home and then it started to organically grow.
The thing you got to realize is so radio is where I made a living as far as as a songwriter. So I tried my best to study and understand how everything works. And I think that's the key. And once you start understanding the business of radio, I think that answer would change. Now, what happens is radio has what they call call out research. Now, when you play a record, you have between 35 to a minute and a half to capture the listener. So the guy who owns the radio station is not from Miami. Right? He owns tons of radio stations. So he could care less about the inner city market. What has to be done is the call out research has to be there for each individual artist. Now, every artist that you named established themselves in the inner city of Miami and are doing well in the inner city of Miami. So the problem is clearly not Miami loving them. You're talking about other cities of them going worldwide and then speaking about local radio. That's kind of contradicting itself because local radio ain't going to be the answer for them, respectfully, right? So what I think is, understanding how it works is not because program directors don't want to play the record. I've had relationships with some of the best program directors in the world. And these guys, sometimes they try their hardest to give heat from the street and these different segments but what happens is when the numbers come back and they say, we are here. And then as soon as heat from the street come on, we go here and listening. Then the guy who owns the radio station, he gonna call down and say, why is these numbers going down right here? Get rid of that, right? So there's not much power for the guy playing a record. There's not even much power for the program director when the research isn't coming back. So what's gotta happen is the songs have to move. You got guys like Denzel Curry who never had a radio hit, right? But still makes an incredible living, still to this day, touring around other places outside of South Florida. So the key has to be not just radio, because radio's not going to break you anymore. There's no radio station in the country that's breaking acts. Radio station don't even get to play. The PD can't even play new songs most time because the guy who owns the company, who we got to answer to, is going to say, why are you doing it? Why are you playing these songs? This is the rule. We're going to send you a playlist of songs that you can play. You got to play these. Now, if a personality gets ratings, let's say a personality on radio has a strong following, then he can introduce or she can introduce and break records. But even with that, they got how many hours of the day to be able to introduce these new songs, right? So what I'm saying is not to argue or go back and forth. It's just to say, once you understand the business of radio, right? Radio is one of the few formats that still pay songwriters the rate that we deserve to be paid, right? Streaming gives me 0.001 cent per play, right? 0.001 cent per play, right? Radio still is a place where if I got a number one record in the country, I can still make $8.5 million, right? It's not doing that with streams. So radio is still a strong place. It's just that in order for radio to break a song at radio, you gotta already have motion. I promise you, I sat in PD's office and they tell me, Rico, I'm trying so hard. I want to help these guys so much, but my hands are tied because when those ratings are up here for the other songs, and then when they start looking at that feedback and they say the dips during this 1 hour, you know what I mean? Street heat from the street, and we breaking new artists and send us your songs and call in to see, we're gonna rate the songs from who's the best. Remember they used to do that? They had to cut it out.
Yeah.
I don't think we're saying we're blaming radio. I mean, we go back from, Derek Baker's in the building. We're talking about 99 Jams. Derek right there. Derek, where you at, man? We've been talking to PD 20 plus years ago. So I'm saying we're going to a situation of when radio, when 99 Jams is right off of 99, off the 826. You can walk in there and put a flyer down for your new single. What I'm saying is they played 70% Florida, Miami music. Right? Gave a lot of outlets for people who probably didn't even deserve it, but got an opportunity and got on, right? I.e., Pitbull, right? On 99, Pitbull, Ace Hood, these guys had his own show. Luke brought his own show on, right? These guys they became household names for something when they became household hits, right? All I'm saying is, speaking about radio, it's doing well for you, but every PD I talk to, I won't name any, radio is a dying breed. Nobody here has to agree with that. Radio is not.
No, I'm saying that it's dying. I'm saying that even though radio is suffering the way it is, it's still the only platform that still pays the producer and the writer at the rate that they originally were paid. So me not being originally from South Florida, I'm letting you guys know, all the guys you just named in that era, the reason why those PDs were able to play those songs in the way they were playing it is because those songs had legs. I heard about Uncle Al. You know what I mean? I heard about Luke. We heard about all those artists. We heard when TVT was popping and they signed Pitt. When Slip and Slide was nationwide. I mean, obviously it took time down here to build and cultivate it, but it wasn't the climate of the whole country.
To play my record.
but the climate of the entire country at one point was playing Miami artists to the point where even artists like Jackie O was getting so many chances. Remember they was trying to they tried to break her, so you know what I mean? So it was a climate, and I think the timing of it. And I think we may be confusing the timing of it.
You just touched it. You just touched it. So I've been waiting. They talking about radio, and I'm there like a puppy. So I've been waiting, and really, you just tapped it right there. You're advancing everything else. You talked about street team. You talked about those are also things of the past. You're now using social media, right? So we can't graduate all of those things, but still not give radio the same, the fact that what it used to do. Because listen, I grew up watching the 5 Heartbeat kind of energy, like you could go to the local guy, give him the record and play it and everybody's excited. Those days are over. So what happened is that, yes, during those Uncle Al days, which I was there for with 99 Jams as well, yes, you could have came through the back door, you could have done whatever, and Derek would have given you the shot, or or Jerry Russian before that. But that was those days. Now that company was owned by a family, right? It was owned by a family. Now all of the radio stations are owned by like 4 companies. You understand what I'm saying? Big difference. So now we don't have the opportunity to do that. Everything in radio right now is research. Everything. They do everything based on research. There's nothing personal. We force them as personalities to have to face you guys as artists and you guys as industry cats. Then we put the pressure on them to be like, give us local clout, and then I'm going to touch something else. So we have something like local clout where we play home team music. Now this is where the ego kicks in, right? All of these artists, I got the hottest joint, all right, we play your song 3 times a day for nothing. All you got to do is submit it. Ask me if they're going to submit it. Ask me if they're going to submit it. They don't. So they're asking for these opportunities, but it's all hype. Because what happens again with the ego that you talked about earlier is that they like the look of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But they're not serious about the business of what they're doing. So they're not doing the little things.
What are you guys like doing to adapt to like the streaming world? What platforms are you guys creating to get in that world? Cause radio, that's like an older thing. But you got like, come on now.
No. What it is that we don't have to.
But look, though.
We don't have to adapt. And here's the thing. Here's the secret sauce to it. We don't have to adapt. At the end of the day, you can stream all you want. There's no human connection.
No, I'm saying the only reason I'm saying streaming because we got audiences in those places. So if you guys were to grab like a popular streamer, hey, let's get behind this, and he bring on the local talent. Like that'll build a bridge.
They don't want to do that. Why? What's the benefit for them? These streamers are more popular than doing their own thing. There's no benefit for them to.
Nah, we ain't talking about we ain't talking about a streamer from here. Let's build up a streamer from here. Let's find somebody here. Like you saying, what was the show you said they don't want to submit? What's the name of it?
Local Clout.
Okay, where does that go?
It goes on the radio.
We ain't even listening.
So I want to, if you don't mind.
But you see what I'm saying?
But we got to get it on the places we at.
So if you don't listen to radio no more, right? Maybe you should try to start listening to it if you want to be involved in it. Maybe you need to figure out a way. See, you asking a system that's built and that's there. That's still gonna always be there because, by the way, if it wasn't making no money, it wouldn't be no more radio.
No, I'm just telling let's create a branch.
I'm trying to give you an example. So you're saying I want this system to support me. And then I'm actively saying I don't support this system in any way.
No. I'm saying let's create a branch attached to that system.
But you just admitted out your own mouth that you don't listen to it, right? So what you have to do is, if I want to understand any space, I need to dive in. Like, I don't make a comment. I have a rule. I don't make a comment on anything. A person can ask me a question right now, and I'm going to shut up until I go and do my research on it, right?
Look at this perspective.
Right? So, no, let me just get acknowledge you.
All right.
So what you should do is say, let me understand how radio works. Right? Let me sit down and have conversations with PDs. Let me understand what's going on. And then the audience that I have here, I'm going to be the streaming guy that directs their energy to this place. Because what I'm trying to tell you, bro, if you have a hit at radio, it will change your life. It will seriously change your life. So if you understand, instead of saying, oh, we don't listen to it no more. We don't do this. We don't do that. How about saying, all right, if nobody's doing this in my world, what if I'm the one to go do it?
So let me ask
then
you,
you become like a pioneer.
I've been playing your song with Major 9
I listen to the radio.
And you ain't hear it yet?
I listen to the radio, man. I listen to the radio.
I let your part play because you on the end of the song. I've been playing that song with you, Boy Greasy, and Sam Steak for a month straight.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
But I listen to the radio. I'm talking about, and back to this, like, say you got a song with, you're not a rapper, but if you were a rapper, y'all have a song. I don't listen to you, but I listen to him. Just because he's on it, I'm going to listen. That's why I said create a branch. That branch, I might tap into that branch, and then I may tap into the radio. So we have to create that.
What I'm saying is you already have an audience, right? So if you have the audience, what I would do if I was you is I would try to understand what's going on in radio. How is it working? I would know it like the back of my hand. By the way, every part of the business, I know well enough to get my way through a conversation. Every little piece, every nuance of the music business. I'm 42 years old. I've been in the music business for 25 years. And I've been trying to understand every single element and aspect of this ever-changing business, by the way. And when I say that, I'm still studying because the business is ever changing, right? So what I try to do is I want to understand enough about something to ask the right questions. And I think a lot of people think they want to know everything about something. No, I want to know enough about it to ask an educated question. Because once you ask the right questions, you spark the interest of the teacher. Always know that. Once somebody's in position, if you ask me an incredible question, I'm going to stop what I'm doing to focus on how can I help you? You asked an amazing question. So if I was you, I would say, how do I understand how radio works? How do I understand how the dynamics of it? Because before I can even think about bringing my people over here, I need to figure out how does this system flow? Once I figure out how it flow, I get next to the right people. I say, let me ask a question. Can I have a meeting with the program director? Can I sit down and talk to them about how it works? You ask the right question, they spark an interest in you. Now they're gonna say, hey, that idea you had about streaming, let's sit down and develop that. Because what you're suggesting, you could do. Everything that you're suggesting, you could be the vehicle to make it happen. And once we start realizing how powerful we are as individuals, bro, it's a game changer. Because now you're not asking no permission no more.
That part. Wow. I want to pivot a little bit and talk about the sound of Miami. And so something as like myself as a consumer, what I've seen different in different markets is it seems like the sounds of those markets is able to travel the country and they're able to go viral or have hits. Do you guys feel, and I would love to hear from everybody on the panel, and we'll start again with you, Ted. Do you feel like the sound, I know. Do you feel like the sound of Miami is played out? Do y'all feel like it's not a national sound anymore?
I think the sound of hip hop played out. Y'all heard what I just said?
Yes.
The sound of hip hop is played out. I can cuss? No, I ain't gonna cuss. Everybody sound like each other, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't just a Miami thing. I think everybody try to not put enough time and effort into being original. For me, that's what I feel. You know, Miami got its own sound. You know, nobody can't say nan like Trick said nan. I don't care how they were saying nana. You know what I'm saying? That was a sound that came from here. You know what I'm saying? Trick said, okay, what's up, shut up. What that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, but you from the crib, you know what that mean. Everybody know what that mean. We had a sound. You know what I mean? So the new generation, boy, I ain't gonna lie to you, boy, I don't know the difference from Gunna, Lil Baby, all of them. They all start sounding the same, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just talking about on a national scale. I think that when you knew Pitbull was a Latin artist and you knew that Cuban boy was from the crib, he ain't sound like a Puerto Rican from New York. He ain't sound like a Mexican from Texas. He sound like the crib. So we got to make sure that when you making music, that you have some authentic, something about you that sound different. You know what I'm saying? That make your music stand out. That was, to me, was the most important thing to me, bringing something new to the table. Clouds from Fort Myers, Florida. listen to me, Fort Myers, Florida. I knew that boy had a sound that was gonna represent Florida. And it wasn't only Miami, it represented Florida. And I said, if I can just put this sound on a national level, I know what that's gonna do. Trina was one of the finest red bones in America. And when she said I'm the baddest, she meant that. We knew that we can just get the spotlight and people can see it because there's a girl around the country that want to be like Trina in every hood around America on that Martin Luther King Boulevard somewhere around the hood. They wanted that girl. There's a girl in the hood that sounded like, that wanted that sound, that wanted to be like that. I think that we don't have enough artists that sound original no more, and that's my main problem.
I really think that the closest to it is Broward, and as far as Kodak and those guys. And I think what they did more than anything was lingo. And I think that it's sad to say, but it's like the drug sound when they slurred the words up really bad and you can barely understand them. It became like its own sound, its own thing. I don't believe that Miami's sound is played out. I think that, and people might disagree, I think Ball Greasy is potentially one of the biggest pop stars in the world. I think that melodically, there's not a lot of writers in general who can keep up with Ball Greasy. I think that lingo-wise, I think he understands his niche. I think that he understands how to target the women in a way that a lot of artists don't understand how to target them. I think he has a commanding presence. He's a tall guy. If he walked in the room right now, everybody would direct the energy for all the star things that you need from an artist. I just think he's not consistent. And that's my friend and my brother. You know what I mean? I just think that, so I don't think it's the sound that's the problem. I think that, like I said, once you start getting money, because Ball Greasy makes a good living. So once you start getting a little money, I remember telling an artist, I don't even want to say their name, but she was a decent artist. She does really well. I remember she went on tour and she came home from tour and she said, Rico, I made $3.5 million in 3 months on tour. You know, I said, that's really good numbers. And I said, well, Rihanna made $3.5 million in one night.
The difference.
It's a difference. So once you start getting comfortable, the problem with poverty is you can hand feed a poor person and they'll be satisfied. Once you see yourself bigger than your community and you see yourself then bigger than everything that you grew up around, you'll understand, like, imagine. I remember when I first had my first #1 record, I got a check for that. And I thought to myself, all right, well, what if I had 2? I didn't think, oh, I'm satisfied with the 1. I said, what if I had 2? What if I had 3? And that year I had 7. You know what I mean? And then I won Songwriter of the Year that year. And then the next year I won Songwriter of the Year. And I did it 4 years in a row because I was like, okay, if I can get this much with just this one, what could I do with multiple? Once you start thinking that way, you'll realize that the sound ain't played out. The energy didn't play out. Everywhere I've been around the country with Ball Greasy. That same energy he get when he walk and take one in the office, they give him that same. People who don't even know him, they recognize something in him. It's about what type of work you're willing to put in. You know what I mean? Once artists start realizing that, they got it.
Jwettz, I definitely want to hear your opinion on that.
I don't know. I don't think it's played out. I just think a lot of people are like copying the sound instead of being inspired by it and like not personalizing it, you know, like there's so many Kodaks, you know, there's so many of everything. Like I know a Lil Baby in my hood. Like, you know, I know a Kodak in my hood. I know somebody that's like this person in the hood. Like everybody, like, it's not their fault, but you inspired and then you just find yourself being like the person instead of being inspired and doing you know? So I just feel like Miami just lack originality right now. You know, everybody just trying to be like the next person. But everybody could just sit back and just be inspired and just do them. I feel like, you know, but that's kind of hard as well. So that's another pocket. So I get it. Like an artist coming up feel like this is what I have to do to blow, you know, but it don't last. No, it don't last. You know, you might get a little like views, people watching you like, oh, you snap, but you sound like Kodak, you're nothing new. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's hard to do something new as well because a lot of people overlooking the new stuff, overlooking the stuff that everybody want to hear. Like me, I make music where like, I don't really like to make music where it's, you know, talking about what other females talk about, not to call out no, you know, but just like, I'm not gonna get on a song like, talking shit, you get what I'm saying? I like to really like speak to people. Like I have a very soulful like energy, you feel me? Like, but a lot of people don't want to hear that all the time. The ones that catch it.
Well, I would say this, and Bushy kind of said it. It took him 7 years.
Yeah.
So what happened is that with us is that we get so caught up in social media and everything else that's going on that we could be killing it and we're force ripening it. We're not allowing ourselves or the song enough time to maturate and do what it does. So it's like, oh, I put this record out. Oh, damn, 2 weeks later, oh, no. Like, it ain't going crazy. So, you know what I mean? Where, like Bushy said, he put out a record 7 years later and it took off. So it kind of ties in again with what Rico was saying too, where you just got to keep being consistent.
I feel like you do have to keep going, but if I'm being honest, like being one of the upcomings, like it is kind of disappointing to do what you want to do, like, you know, your art, whatever it is, and then see like somebody else just go grab something that somebody else doing and they go viral. And this person been doing it for a while. So this not to take away from, yeah, you're right. That no, what he was saying, yeah, completely, like stand on it. It's gonna take a little longer than the person that decided to woo the woo. I'm gonna do it like how they doing because this was what popping. But if you stick to the method your way, you know, you're gonna have your own sound. You're gonna have your own wave. That's something that's gonna be permanent. That's you. You're not like the next person. You get what I'm saying? So I hear everything that you're saying as well.
All right, Bushy.
I got two things. The first, it's a lot of artists down here got their own sound. I can name them. And it came from just us cultivating our sound years and years and years. A lot of people who grab the popular sounds, they be gone. So we don't even count them for real. So but you got like a Soldier Living True. He got his own sound. You got Kiddo Marv, his own sound. Major 9, his own sound. Lil Dread, his own sound. Bushy V, his own sound. Like when we get on the song, we don't sound like nobody else. And it's just because we call each other, you know, like I said, we got our pack, we done created. We'll call each other and be like, hey man, I want some rec today. And that means we finna go to the studio and whoever tap out, you lost. That's like we created that and we made our own sound doing that. So I don't agree with Miami don't have a sound and all that. That's not our thing. Cause bring anybody they want in the studio with us and they might copy it. Cause it's gonna be that.
I want to add something real brief, even going back to before, right, where we mentioned where we're giving the radio stations and the PDs and everybody so much power. And I think we're missing that you got to hold yourself accountable, right? What are you doing to make the radio stations and the PDs and the people really want to mess with you? Like any artist, even you, Bush, you saying how, you know, you want to do this and do that, but you got to just continue, right? All these artists that we're mentioning, one thing that they have in common is they have catalogs. They have thousands of songs. So until we start to get to 100 and 500 and thousands of songs, it's discouraging. It's hard because it's some life-changing stuff. That doesn't mean that you need to stop or you know what I mean, or be discouraged by it. That should actually have you go harder. See what I'm saying? So it's holding yourself accountable so that you can continue to go and grow and then get recognized by everybody else. Don't worry about nothing else. And then even to your point, Rico, where the radio, I don't even know that is that necessary anymore when you have so many independent artists such as Russ, who is a millionaire, has no singles on the radio, if you will, maybe a couple, right? But he's not looking for the radio. He's just working. He's doing his part. He's holding himself accountable, not even worried about the majors or the radio stations, but they're doing their part to make sure that they make it.
And also, I think that artists have to realize if I serve this one group and I continue to serve this group, that's how I'm really going to spread and grow an audience. If I'm trying to really, why my song not going? If I got 25 people who love my music, I'm going to perform for those 25 people every week, right? Now, next week is going to be 28. And in a month, it's going to be 39. And then a month, it's going to be 100. I went to, when I did 2 albums ago, I did a Big Crit album. I executive produced Big Crit album. So after I did the album, we went on a road together and I just jumped on this tour, did like 5 or 6 cities. We went to a place called Corpus Christi, Texas. When we got to Corpus Christi, he said, when I put the tickets on sale, the tour sold out in 25 seconds, right? The whole tour sold out for 25 seconds, the whole tour. He said, Rico, when I first came to this city in Corpus Christi, I performed in front of 12 people. I did a run, I came around, the next time I came, it was 35 people. I did a run, the next time I came around, it was 100 people. I was so excited, I sold 100 tickets. He said, now it's downstairs, upstairs, outside in the hallway, packed out. in 25 seconds. So the problem is you do one ticket, you do one show, you've been tweeting and promoting the show. And I'm telling you, y'all gonna recognize what I'm about to say because everybody's seen it. You promote the show, you go hard, you going around passing out flyers and you get to the show and 12 people show up. You know the first thing you say? Man, the crib don't fuck with me. They see, that's why I don't do nothing at home because y'all don't fuck with me, bro. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep going. Now, when you do it 10, 15 times and keep coming around, you'll realize, man, I ain't even noticed that they didn't fuck with me because I already had 5 other dates set up where I went and had 12 people in each of these markets. But as long as I can get 12 people to tell 12 people to tell 12 people, you're trying to serve everybody instead of just serving the people that's in front of you. Once you realize to serve this small group and you realize once the person in their cubicle is playing your song at work and they say, who is that? And they say, oh man, that's Ted Lucas. Oh, bro, what's that? Give me that. Let me get that. Let me download that. I heard this at work. Now they put it on their story. Now they post it on it grows organically. We want everything to happen so big and we're not okay with an empty room. I'm okay with an empty room because I'm there. I get to show up every day and do the work. Once I turn that room into 5, if I come back and it's 20 people and it was 5 people at one point, I'm excited. I'm super excited because I know that I'm growing, even if it's at a small rate. Pause.
I just want to speak to the original question, which is about the look and the sound of Miami. I feel like same thing with what Ted Lucas said. A lot of the Miami artists are carbon copies of something from somewhere else. And because they're going to be a carbon copy, they get lost in the sauce. So the originals, like the Bushy Bees and the Major Nines, who Icebergs, and Little Dread, who separate themselves, they have to just work harder to get out of Miami because Miami loves them because of the way they speak, that they sound like the rest of us. They remind us of us when we were young and we were grinding. And that's a big deal. That's endearing to us, especially us older Miami people who are in the know. So it's a big deal when one of these guys can make it out of here. And so for me, if artists stop trying to be like everyone else and continue on their journey and on their path, no matter how long it takes, 7 years and things like that, then I think we'll be in a better position.
And I just want to be real quick. Once again, everything everybody said, support, right? So when we support our artists, we support the radio station, we support our writers, everybody wins. And I think until we have a better foundation of supporting everybody, right? That's what wins, right? That gives her a shot, right? We're promoters. We are the definition of perseverance. We've been doing this for 17 years. I promise you right now, if I did a concert right in here and I had everybody he just named, it would be hell on wheels. And ain't too many artists in here, God bless Mike Headliner, that can push the way we push, both media, social media, groundwork, radio, we do it all. And it'll probably be 15 people in here. The support, if we are able to put Bushy B, Iceberg, Ball Greasy in this same restaurant, and we get 800 people in line down the street, guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again until it run through. We don't get it. And we push. You can name anybody here that push hard in Spase Jenkins Entertainment. It is the support that everybody's lacking. That's why we got to take that same show to Tampa and Orlando and to get more support in this city. Once again, I ain't saying I created it. That's the reality. The support is lacking in Miami. We have to fix that.
But what's... So the people are here, and we'll be able to hear from them in a little bit. So y'all really saying it's us, the consumer, the market, the person who's listening to the music. Like, what do y'all think is the disconnect? Like, you're saying it's the support. For me, the way I got put on to know Jwettz was People Manifest and seeing her perform and seeing how dope she was. Bushy B was a referral from my cousin Alexis, who's watching. She was like, yo, you got to hear this song, the one that went viral. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, so I feel like when I talk to Miami people, we love the music. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what's that disconnect? Like, that, because we love it. But do you think we're too familiar? Because I've heard blogger and personality, Funky Dineva, he's from Carroll City, his real name Quentin Latham. He said he was afraid to do, not afraid, but he was apprehensive to do a meet and greet here in South Florida because he was like, well, they could see me at the Publix. They went to high school and college with me. They may not want to, they're not going to pay money to see me. Do y'all think that's also too a part of, I guess, the lack of support because we see the artist
It's not the audience's job to like you. You know what I mean? They don't have to like you. It's your job to convince them that they should. Like it's not nobody's job to like you or support you. You have to make it so that they don't have a choice. And that's the key. And even if the answer is going to get popping somewhere else, I'm not mad at that. But at the end of the day, it's not anybody's job to support you. There are 600,000 songs uploaded every day to Spotify. Every single day, 600,000 songs is uploaded, right? So the opportunity to get in the business is easier. The opportunity to release songs is easier. When I was coming up, you know how much money it cost me to put out a free mixtape? I had to buy tons of CDs and pass them out and really give away money. Now you literally can upload to TuneCore, to CD Baby and all those things. So with 600,000 songs being released every day, it's not about the music. It's about the movement. And once you understand how to create a movement, once you started having a relationship, having a conversation with an audience, and having a group of people that's like, people love a mob. When you ever go somewhere and you hear everybody singing a song and you don't know that song, what's the first thing you do? Shazam, what's this song, right? So that's what has to happen. You got to stop saying, I want everybody. They don't have to support you. I know that people don't have to support me, right? People don't have to go to your parties. But guess what? When I look on the gram and I see 4 parties in a row, I ain't been to these parties. I'm tripping. What's going on? Why am I not here? Right. So I think that it's up to the artists, it's up to us as individuals, up to everybody to say, nobody came today. I'm going to come tomorrow still. And I'm not going to take a break from them. That's the problem, is you take a break. People, like I just said, people will do a show. They'll show up and do something. People won't support. They'll get angry. They invited their mother and their family. They embarrassed. Their girl is there and there's only 8 people and they can hear themselves talk from the front to the back and they're embarrassed about it. So now they mad and they're going to say, you know what? They don't support. They hating on me. No, bro. You got to keep showing up. Bro, I'm telling you, and it's like a broken record. Nobody wants to hear that. But I'm telling you time and time again, that's what actually works, is when you believe in something and you have a product, it's your job to make people accept that product. How many restaurants is on this block?
That part.
You know what I mean? So yeah, your food might be better than all these restaurants. But if you don't do something to get the people to come in here, that's your fault.
Yeah.
It's not them not supporting, because they supported Holmes. They supported Denzel Curry. They support Ball Greasy. They support Major 9 because these guys are still making a great living. So you got to figure out, how do I get them to do the same thing they doing in Tallahassee and Toledo and Tampa and Mississippi and all these places that support me? How do I get it to be here at the house? Because it's possible. And this man has done it time and time and time and time and time and time again. So we can't say it's not possible.
I would say, and that's a great point. I would say, even from the promotion standpoint, there are some different nuances with promotion. Because Miami is just a completely different city from Tampa, from Orlando, and from Tallahassee. We have too many options here in South Florida, and too many free options. So whereas other towns, if a basketball game is happening or something's happening, that's it. Everybody's at that basketball game. You could go to a Heat game and it's empty. You know what I'm saying? So Miami does have a different nuance when it comes to that. But your point is well taken in terms of the artists and making themselves popping. Janae?
I have a question for the artists, because both of you have, been to different cities and done shows. Do you guys feel the need to leave Miami to really blow up and feel love, or can you make it while staying at home? I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
I'd like to say so, only because I found myself in a scenario where I got the support from Miami, but like they won't stick around for too long for some reason. It's like they'll support, but they only gonna keep coming around if the next big thing is happening instead of being around for the process. So for me, I just feel like the process part is a part that us as artists have to swallow, because like he was saying, it's just like, it's part of the process. So I'm like taking in everything you guys are saying right now. And I had a whole nother perspective, coming in here. So I'm just like listening and I'm taking heed to it, because I'm like, okay, maybe that's just the answer. Just stay consistent, lock in, just everything else out the window, So I prior to coming in here, I would say that I felt like being outside of Miami, that's what I needed to do in order to elevate. But after hearing what you guys are saying today, I don't think it has anything to do about location, but everything to do with you as the artist and how consistent and locked in you are. And, you know, so I'll say that.
Let's hear it for our engineer over there.
Can you say the question one more time?
The question was, do local artists feel the need to leave Miami to really blow up, or can they make it big while staying home? And Rico, just to your point, what you just said, I want the audience, like you just said, can we give it up to No Jwettz?
No, I just said I salute her because she did what most artists can't do. She heard something, she had a perspective coming in, and she heard something and she took heed and saying that I'm a self-correct. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. You have to understand that to be an artist, you've been performing since you was this big. You've been the center of attention at your house on Thanksgiving and Christmas, dancing in the kitchen in front of the whole family. You went to high school, everybody loved you, you popular. You went to college, you the center of attention. So now you assume that the whole world is going to receive you that way. So the fact that you're able to hear something and say, wow, I didn't see it that way, let me self-correct. That's the difference between the people that make it and the people that don't, are the ones who are able to hear something and adjust. So many people don't. So many people take offense to anything that's contrary to the thing that to the perspective that they had.
Let me add to that. You sitting up here for a reason. Somebody's seen something great in you for you to even be sitting on this couch. You realize that? All right. So that means you got to go harder. You hear me? You got to work your butt off. Ain't nobody in this city should outwork you. And whatever you got to do to make that happen, anytime this mic come on, boy, grab it and just hit a note on them and let them know. And I ain't gonna lie to you, whatever your favorite song was growing up, remix every one of them and put them on social media. Remix them all day, every day. I mean, tomorrow, you supposed to put a remix of somebody's record out tomorrow. Mary J. Blige bust out with I'm going down.
To the point we thought that was her
I thought that was her shit. I didn't know that was that girl record. That's what I'm saying. That record broke her, man.
We thought that was her.
We thought that was her record. We didn't even know that. What's the lady name that made that record? Rolls Royce.
Wow.
Well, I'm going down. She killed that. You know what I'm saying? You're right. So make a remix the night. You go home, you're going to find your favorite record, and you're going to post it on social media. You're going to do it again tomorrow. You're going to do it again the next day. Yeah. Do you know what made Luther Vandross so popular?
Dionne Warwick songs.
Thank you. Thank you. He remixed everybody's job. He did all her records over and took them to the next level. Yeah. So it ain't got to go get a new beat or worrying about somebody again. Man, go steal somebody's record and kill it. All right?
Bushy, did you want to add to that about like having to leave to have success as a Miami artist?
Only thing I would say, if we were to leave, is just to network. That's it. But like the thing that I did, man, I always believed in like quality. So if I heard a song and my song come on after and I see a dip in like the quality, I'm going back to the studio. I need to get with a better engineer. My pictures need to be better. Like, I need to have better videos. I always believed in upgrading. So when they see me next to a mainstream artist, it's not that big of a dip. So that's the only thing we got to work on down here, just quality. That's it. We don't really have to leave. We just got to up the quality. That's it.
Ooh, that part. I had a question for Ted and for Spase and about collaboration between, you know, the promoters or tours and for artists. Like, is that happening between your industries? Because I know the artists are that they want to perform, but is there collaboration between, you know, you from the record label and the promoters or people who produce shows? What does that look like here in South Florida?
You want to go first? Let me say this right quick. Bushy, do you mix your records? Yeah. Do you master your records?
Yes.
Who mix your record? Who master your record? You do it yourself?
Nah, man, my engineer in the building, man. Shout out to King Brownlee, Soundwave Records. And we got a couple different people that master, but they all like from here though. Okay. Yeah. Cause that's the key to it for me. If that snare ain't hitting right, it's a problem. For sure. I'm from the crib. That bass guy, I gotta feel that. I need the lights in here to start shaking when that bass hit. You feel me? For sure. So all of that matter. You know what I'm saying? I tell everybody, my career was based off two things.
I get that beat right and the hook. Only thing you rapping to show another person, another person that they can't mess with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All you doing when you rap, you really just showing your skills to somebody else. But focus on the hook. Both of y'all, you hear me? Focus on that hook. Because when people leave here, man, we used to call the radio station. I can go back and say, I want to hear that song that goes such and such, such and such.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even know the person's name. Yeah. We just know that melody of the song.
Bro, I think about
No, you're right.
Oh, trick verse. Yeah, you're right, but that's the hook. You thought that was the hook. So that's the key, man. Like, make sure that you spend that time. I tell everybody, for me, I might spend a day working on a record before we even record your vocals, because I want to make sure that hook and that beat right. Then you can go ahead and write to it. Just give me enough. Don't write to the song yet. Just take the rest of the day, ride out all day. Just listen to this beat. And give me a better hook that I ain't gonna forget it. When that record go off, I wanna keep repeating that in my head. So take some time when you're making records, stop writing the verse first. See if you can make the hook that everybody gonna be able to say they can't stop saying that hook. Because that's what's gonna, I tell a hook can change your life in a minute.
I appreciate that.
I gotta say, so being an outsider, I think my perspective, I'm not going to say it's better, but I think I'm from a different view, right? So I went to FAMU in 2000. That was my introduction to Florida, was moving to Tallahassee. And when I first got down there, they play, anybody want a motherfucker? And I was like, I couldn't believe how that song made me feel, right? And then they had a song called Get Crunked Up, and I was like, it was different sounds. Then they had a guy from Jacksonville. He had a song, I don't even supposed to be in here tonight, but all these. And it was a whole Florida sound as soon as I got to Tallahassee. And it was a catalog full of records that were working nationwide, right? And I think that you guys don't know how incredible the sound is because you're here. But the lingo is the thing that carries. All three of those songs is different styles of music, but there's a consistent sound. What makes a sound? Lingo makes a sound. Wu-Tang does not rap like Biggie Smalls. That's real. Nas does not sound like Cormega or any of those guys. It was the lingo that made people say, oh, that's New York rap. But none of these guys sound alike. You understand? It's the lingo. Once you have the terminologies down and you can master your terminology, a guy from out of town, we thought all those guys I just named was from Miami. Right? Because we just associated it with the lingo. We heard the accent. Even it took for me to live here to know the difference between a Broward accent and a Dade accent. But but think about it. Somebody from out of town think it's all the same. You know what I mean? They say, oh, she talk like the city girls. Or he talk like Kodak. And I'm like, nah, it's so different accents. It's different, and it's different terminology, different slang, different slurs. And it took for me, I've been here for 17 years. So I'm able to understand it a little bit differently. But a lot of people don't understand. Like, I think that you guys don't give yourself enough credit when it comes to the sound, because the sound is there, because the lingo is there. Once you start living in that and existing in that and going other places, and still be here and do your thing. But once you go in other places, and the swag is different. It was a kid who got locked up that Freezy had signed. He just came home. What was his name? Soldier. Yeah, Soldier Baby or something like that. Baby. Swag crazy. Like, just energy. He walked in the room, it just was, and obviously you got to stop going to jail, but you know what I mean? But think about it, that energy was infectious. And I think you guys don't realize how powerful and unique you are. And like I say, time will tell who's going to do the work. Some of my biggest songs start to be revisited in the past few years because of TikTok, you know what I mean? And because of these things. And that's the same thing that happened to you. You said 7 years. It can happen, bro. But the sound is there. I don't think there's a problem with that.
All right. Piggybacking on the sound, we as promoters, we believe in the Miami sound. So Bushy B would tell you, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone in South Florida who books more Miami artists than we do. And we take them on the road because that's how much we believe in the sound. So we're gonna take that sound, take it somewhere else, of course, to make money, but we also give back, but we also want to expose the artists of Miami, whether they're a new artist or they're, one of our legends. Now, artists in Miami also have to be realistic when it comes to the fact that some of them don't understand their place in the marketplace. So they assume that they can command $10,000.
Right.
We're trying to put you on a show. You should be free. We're going to give you $1,000, but you may see it as an insult. And you may not want to be a part of a show that could have promoted your product. And so sometimes we as a new artist, so sometimes we have to forego the new guy and we have to get the legend and pay the legend more. But we will keep the JT in rotation, Ball Greasy in rotation. We'll keep Mike Smith in rotation. Over and over. We'll book them 10 times throughout the state because we know that's a product that works as well as the national artists. But we're Miami first.
And that's why we wanted you here. We were intentional about that because I did recognize that, you know, Spase does promote the local artists more, you know, than any other promoters that I could think of here in South Florida, respectfully. Listen, my guests have been very respectful with their time, so I want to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes for sure. So we're just gonna do some final thoughts, and if you would like to, if they can stay, you can network. We're gonna keep the place open. You can talk to them. You can, huh? We can do a Q&A. All right. All right. So you want to just start that now? Or you want to do? All right. So do we have that microphone? That microphone available? So if you have a question for the artist, I need you to go by the DJ booth so you can ask it. That microphone? Yeah. Just go this way. Don't walk across the set. Yeah.
Check, my check. All right, how y'all doing? I'm here from NAQ Media. Congratulations, Papa D, on your event. And nice seeing everybody here that I know. Love y'all. So, listening to the conversation, as a manager of talented people, there's always an issue sometimes with the talent. And I hear a lot of times from here, okay, push this record, have this sound. I also want to hear from you guys about what you're looking for as a team player out of an artist. Okay, because you like the sound, you like the swagger, but they just can't follow your lead. You know, they can't, you know, be where you gotta be. This is the biggest thing for me, that you want to push your money behind somebody. Okay, what are you looking for?
Yeah, so first of all, ain't no more money behind nothing. No, for real. Yeah. It ain't no more put money behind it. You know what I mean? You can't buy the audiences no more. Like, they don't care how much time. You can have the biggest billboard in the city. You can have trucks running around doing all those things. Not saying you shouldn't do it, but that's not going to make people love you. So what happens is artists get artist fatigue. Artist fatigue is a real thing, right? I signed an artist. I did a joint venture deal with Epic Records. This was a couple years ago. I did a joint venture deal with Epic. I gave the girl $100,000. She spent the $100,000 in the first 30 days. So now, instead of her being able to go to the studio and be comfortable, she complaining and crying broke, because being broke is one thing, but having a few dollars and then going broke again is hurt. That's a way more broke. That's a broker. That's broker than original broke, right? So now that artist fatigue kicks in. So it's nothing I can do for an artist financially that's going to make it work if they're not working themselves. So putting money behind an artist, just cut that out. What I look for in an artist is unique sound, energy, but also that work ethic. Are you going to do the same thing you did to get my attention? It's like a girl. The same thing you do to get her, you got to do to keep her, right? So over a little bit of time, she might stick around because you're familiar. But if that guy she met in the first 2 months, 10 months down the line ain't the same guy, then I'm going to be in the DMs. You know what I mean? It's just how it go.
Let me answer that. Listen, you're a brand, man. You ain't an artist no more. You know what I'm saying? You got to rep that brand, man, to the fullest. When I say Nike, you know what that means. You know what I mean? You ain't no different. You are BET. I don't know if y'all seen today. BET don't have no BET hip hop no more, none of that. You are your own BET now. You are your own MTV. You your own TV channel. Somebody get up every day to go to your channel to watch you eat, whatever you gonna do. They want to see what you're doing because you're a brand. And when artists understand that they're a brand and they're not an artist, take their word artist out. You are a brand now. When you become to be a brand that somebody gotta eat, sleep, and drink before they go to bed, they gotta watch your page. You became a brand and people wanna buy everything you do. What's gonna make me buy your t-shirt? What's gonna make me pack in here to come see you? You got to be doing something, and that's what make me say I want to invest in that brand. I don't want to invest in the artist no more. I want to invest in that brand because I know that brand can turn and make money. That's what it come down to.
And
that answer it?
Yeah, I understand that.
And just to get into what promoters, what we look for in artists, usually definitely agree with you. Are you going to help us push? Are you going to promote? And that's promoting yourself. So as you promote yourself, you know, okay, well, shit, well, if I got 8 artists, and if you push your own shit, you'll push ours.
Yeah.
So we want everybody on our page, everybody pushing to one success.
No, I'm gonna put it on my story. I can't put it on my page.
Okay.
I'm gonna put your flyer that you want me to perform on my story.
Right.
I can't put it on my page.
Right.
What are you talking about, man?
You can take it down the day of the
What are you talking about? Nah, my page private. You know, my page is important.
And even
Your flyer that you paying me to come perform, I can't put it on my page. That's the dumbest shit in the world.
Right. And what artists don't realize is if we all win together, guess what? I'm gonna do it again.
That's real.
So we're in Orlando now. We're going to Tampa. We're going to Tampa. We're going to Jacksonville. We come
That's
back
right.
to Miami. So that's what we look for as promoters. We scan page like FBI. You know what I mean? Like we're looking like, okay, you pushing your situation. Okay, you doing okay. Hey, this is what we getting them because he's putting in the work. So when he comes on, he's gonna put on our work. We're gonna work together.
The next question,
Okay, thank you
Derek.
guys for the answer. Here's the next question.
Hello. One question.
What's your name?
My name is Owen. First question, how did you get introduced? So if it's possible,
We did.
I heard everybody else's
Their brand.
We introduced them as Space Jenkins, their company.
We're Spade Jenkins, but I'm Mr. Addis. Jay Hall.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you.
Can we just limit you to one question because we do have other people? All right.
So I have been studying social media, and I have been an artist and behind the scenes for 15 years. And the reason behind that is I have a lot of issues with female artists trying to enter into the industry. And I go to the studios, I already mentioned before, that business. As I said, and I take care of that brand. So if I'm addressing the situation, I'm telling them, listen, I'm aiming for music, and that's it. I'm not interested in recognizing relationship with all this. So we get to the studio, and the automatic turns up. So I'm just trying to figure out what it is that needs to be done as a female artist that's trying to be introduced into the industry.
When you said turn left, what you mean turn left? Man, that been happening before we were born, man.
Right, so how does a team, because I know it's very rare.
I have an answer for that. So what you can do, by the way, if a guy don't mean business, he not gonna mean business regardless, right? So it's not, no, listen. So it's nothing you can do about a person who don't mean business. But what you can do is, if somebody say the session is at 1 a.m., you say, nah, can we meet at 3 p.m., right? You start saying, I'm not going to show up to this space at this time. Then you bring somebody with you, right? I always tell female artists, it was a girl I wanted to sign. I told her I wanted to meet her. She came down to Miami and she came by herself. She flew down. She was dedicated. I ended up signing her and giving her the deal, but she was by herself. I said, never do that again. You got to bring a big guy with you. You know what I mean? No, but listen. So you bring somebody with you, and every part of the conversation is going to be different from them when you got somebody that they don't know if that's your brother, your boyfriend, or nothing. So now what's going to happen is you're going to figure out very early if they really want to work or if they was hoping you was going to be by yourself. The good thing about it is once you find out soon, you can get the hell on soon. The problem is when you keep skating around and trying to figure this out and try to spend time around people who don't mean business. Find out if they mean business early and get the hell on if they don't. It ain't nothing we can tell you what to do to stop somebody from being unprofessional. But what we can say is you can figure out very fast whether they're professional or not by how fast they return your calls after they see you with that big black guy standing in the back of the corner, you know, when you show up to the session. You know what I mean?
Let's see, I'm going to raise them, and they'll see that. And they'll continue to see it probably in the third and fourth session, but it's still.
Yeah. But if you make it to the fourth session and you ain't got what you need out the situation, then that's on you too. If I'm 4 sessions in and I ain't figure out how to get what I need from this person, then what's the problem? You know what I mean?
No, we getting the work done.
Yeah, but you got to get the work done. If I get the work done, then that's the answer.
That come with the industry.
Yeah, that come with it. It ain't gonna never stop.
So why is it so rare for us to, there's no
Some people make it through it. Yeah.
Nah, you just gotta cut it. As a female artist, I feel like from the beginning, when you cut it short, you just show them that what type of time you on.
That's it.
And if, like he said, 4th session is crazy. My 2nd session, I'm already like, oh, this you still on this type of time? And like,
No, but if you got 4 sessions and got 4 records, then you good. Like,
yeah, you ain't. You know what I'm saying? I feel like 4th session was a little bit too long for him to play with you. He shouldn't have been able to play with you for that long or play games at all. You should just cut it short. Like, let's get business done. You get what I'm saying? And just move on. And just go on to your next project or work with somebody else. Don't allow yourself to put yourself in that position because you already got the work done. You feel me? He was already funny, but you got the work done. Keep it moving. You get what I'm saying? But if you keep entertaining a situation, I feel like they, as men, they feel like they up on, you know, they could continue to play with you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Peace and blessings. I really don't have a question. I just have a stamp to back that part. Everybody said what you needed to say. As far as the music scene, having been affiliated for the last 30 years, it's a bittersweet and actually suck vibe. Because yes, you go to any other place, I can that part you, what you said. You go to Houston, you hear Houston. You go to Atlanta, you hear Atlanta. Here, you don't have that support from not even the radio stations or people for local talent. And the respect, there is none. Because God bless and rest her soul. Betty Wright, there is no reason that she should have been on a side stage when she performed at Jazz in the Garden. No reason. In fact, it shouldn't have taken that long for her to be an artist affiliated and a part of Jazz in the Gardens. Maybe not the first one, but by that second one, she should have been one of the local artists on there. So that's how I feel. As far as the promoters, I give that part you on what you said. A lot of artists, they do not want to promote. Their mind state is, oh, they ain't paying me for that. Well, your grandmother may not be on social media, but she loves her subject. Your high school teacher that saw something in you and what you're doing as an artist may not be on social media or may not see that flyer, but they love them some you. So promote. Because me personally, no, the money don't match. But if I die today or tomorrow, there's no funeral home or church that can hold the number of people. Because I am branded. Because I believe in working with the promoter. Because if everybody involved got involved, your event will be as successful as it's supposed to be, not need to be.
Phoenix!
Well, do you have a question?
Anyway, I'm gonna just give y'all plain simple because I know the industry just as well as everybody up there. I'm not an amateur at this game. I've been doing this for 30 years.
What's your name?
And a lot of people that I done broke from Rick Ross to Flo Rida, DJ Khaled.
Do you know?
I done broke a lot of artists in Miami before they got big. So I understand, excuse me, the method. It's like Spase. They know what I do. They follow me a little bit, now they're the champs, because I love the way they move. They don't play. They don't play. They beasts at what they do. And it's all about a format. And the biggest problem with all the artists is in anywhere, we don't have artist development no more. Slim and Sly had artist development. A lot of you artists, y'all going out in the streets, and y'all think y'all know what y'all doing, y'all have no clue on what y'all doing. You hanging out, you doing stuff you're supposed to be doing. Like Ted said, y'all a brand. It's a lot of stuff that y'all don't supposed to be doing that y'all do. And then y'all think y'all know what y'all doing, but y'all don't know what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, it's like the radio stations. The radio stations scared to play y'all because y'all might get in trouble tomorrow. Y'all might be doing this tomorrow. That's the reason why, because I can tell you, I'm a crash out dummy. Everybody knows. I crash out in a minute. But I can crash out because you know what? I'm not a brand. Y'all can't crash out because y'all a brand, number one. Number two, the radio stations are not, the radio stations legally, y'all said radio station, I'm gonna tell you the FCC. FCC legally, every area is supposed to play 60% of local music. And guess what? I stood up against them.
I made them start playing it. But guess what? I can't keep doing it all by myself. It takes a team effort. Everybody that's sitting up here, if y'all go and start complaining, everybody, not just one person going to the station and threatening them and have to go put the FCC on the radio station, because they are not in control. At the end of the day, the Bureau is in control. So if we don't stand up together, everybody in here don't start standing up and y'all start voting against that and sending y'all complaints in and doing what y'all supposed to be doing, it's never gonna work. I can't do it by myself. I've done it by myself and I made them scared. Because they know my power. I don't brag about my power. I stay low key with it, but I got a lot of power in Miami and in just as well South Florida and Broward. I got a lot of young people that I'm dealing with now. I'm not trying to deal with the old heads no more, because you know why? Y'all stuck in y'all ways. Y'all got to stop. This ain't gonna happen. Yes, it can happen. If we start sticking together, everything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Just like when my brother voted. That's the reason I came, because he asked me to come. So I told him I'm coming. But at the end of the day, like I said, we have to get behind these artists and start developing these artists the correct way, like Slip and Slide first did. Trick is a crash out dummy too. Y'all gotta understand that, but guess what? The discipline that Ted put on him and all the people he put around him, that's why Kodak is crashing out, because he had the wrong people around him. He's the best artist in the world. I do marketing for Kodak. I do his marketing in South Florida. But he's a crash dummy. I'm keeping it 100. But at the end of the day, like I said, all you artists, I never met nail one of y'all. Not trying to be funny. Y'all don't know me, I don't know y'all. But from what y'all being up here, y'all got to be great. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you need artists development. Thank you.
What's your name? What's your name? What's his
More questions, guys. How many more people? We have to be respectful of our guest time, so please limit to a question if you're up here. How many more people y'all want to take?
We'll finish the line.
All right.
How y'all doing? I'm Champ. I'm a young elevating artist in Miami, Carroll City to be exact. And I really appreciate what everybody had to say on the panel tonight. I really grabbed some value from it, so I just want to say thank you as well. And my question, first and foremost, I do know that like closed mouths don't get fed. So I'm using my voice and peeking into y'all perspectives and what y'all think, because I definitely want to connect with those of y'all that I haven't met before and lock in. But I want to know, in y'all opinion, from what y'all seen, what separates a good artist from a great artist?
Yeah, the conversation they having with the public and the relationship they want to make with the public. If you look at the audience as one person and one entity, and you want to have a relationship with that entity, and you want to do everything in your power to cultivate and develop that relationship, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So if I look at a relationship and I say to myself, I want to figure out a way to court you, I want to take you out, I want to show you why you should be with me. When I see artists that are consistent about having that relationship with the public and who are consistent about putting in the work and the time, the same effort anybody will go to when they want to be in a relationship with anybody, they want a friendship, they want a relationship, you got to treat it that way. And there's a small percentage of people that'll swallow their pride. When you talk about courting and wooing, that means that guy who sit outside that girl window holding that radio and not caring who laughed and who walked by, that's the way you got to be with the artist, with the public. How much are you trying to give this? How much are you going to take away from yourself and say, I love you that much. I want to get to know you that much. I want you to know me that much, that I put my pride to the side and do what needs to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to add to that. Listen, work ethic, man. That's what it come down to. I ain't going to lie to you. God has truly blessed me, y'all. God has blessed me so much that I can stay home and don't go to work no one day in my life. I ain't got to work another day in my life. God did that for me. I ain't do that for myself. I'm my only child, born and raised in the Bahamas. You hear me? And I invest in brands, but the brand that's going to outwork everybody else. Rick Ross would do 3 shows in one day. He'll do a show at 12 o'clock in Atlanta, got another show in Mississippi at 3 o'clock, and got a show tonight in L.A. He gonna take a helicopter from Atlanta. They get to Mississippi to do that show. They get on that private jet to go to LA. And he still do that today. He got paper. He good. He straight. but he still will outwork everybody today, right now. So I invest in people that's gonna work. I can find you the records. God bless me that I can get the producers to do work with you because of my relationships. So making the music, that ain't the hard part. You got to be able to outwork everybody else and show me that you're gonna outwork everybody else so we can invest in your brand.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lauren, and I've been in the radio industry for 20 plus years. Now I'm in sports broadcasting. I just recently moved back. I was born and raised here in Miami. I just recently moved back from Atlanta. Back home, and this past March. But what I want to say is, what I do see was lacking here is the unity amongst the artists. In Atlanta, man, the unity there is just, I've never seen it like it before. You know what I'm saying? So what I do see what lacks here in Miami is unity, the collabs. Like, there's no reason why JT Money he should have a record with Rick Ross. Rick Ross should have a record with Bob Greasy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see that here. I don't see the unity amongst the artists here. And that's what lacks. And that's all I have to say.
If I can say something, they actually do have an album together.
They do.
Yeah. But once again, when I've been saying all that, they get support. They actually have an album. JT just dropped a new album. They actually do have an album. It just they get the support, you know. So
yeah.
Call me the broken record, but.
Hello, good evening. My name is Marsha Seeley, also known as Smiley from Smiley Girl Entertainment. I don't have a question. I have a couple of statements. I'm the person on the other side. So I'm a music exec, but I'm also the music industry's best kept secret. I'm the auditor. I'm the one that helps you find your money. So I heard a lot about verses, shows, Rick Ross doing 3 shows. There are over 18 ways to get paid off of one song. They don't teach you that history, right? So those 3 shows that he's going to, Promoter 1, Promoter 2, Promoter 3, gave him some money to hold the date. Gave him some money for showing up and performing. But unless he goes to his PRO and says, I performed at these 3 shows at these 3 places, that those performance right money is not coming. You left it on the table. Mechanicals, 9 times out of 10, you're leaving it on the table. You sink, you're leaving it on the table. So my thing is become educated. What you talked about in terms of being a brand, any promoter can keep a show, but no one can brand and promote you better than you promote yourself. That's first and foremost. The other gentleman talked about crashing out and, being out there promoting. Promote yourself. It's not just that someone is keeping the show. They're keeping the show because 1, you got a following, 2, you got a song, 3, you got potential in order to do something that's big. So add to your brand. But the biggest thing is you're not going to get all your money if you don't educate yourself. Smiley Girl, website. Sorry. I'm also an instructor at FIU, so shout out to my students that came.
What's happening, y'all? All right, Jeff Fox in the house. I'm originally from the Bahamas, but South Florida is my second home. And I've made it to sports radio. I've worked CBS, ESPN, the whole thing. But I want to commend Janae and Papa Keith, our future elected officials. Y'all did work, man. Y'all did work before the elections. Y'all been working still after the elections. We need you too in this community. Those are big facts. And I want to commend Ted as well. What you did with the documentary is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. These are the types of things that need to happen in this industry. People need to see it.
Everybody has seen the documentary? Come on, man. Y'all tripping, man.
Stream it.
Tell them, man.
Yeah.
Miami Kingpins on Prime came in number 3 out of the top 10 on Prime.
That's right.
Came in with the best streaming numbers that came out for a documentary, and it's still growing, y'all. So please go check it out. I'm representing the crib on this.
That's right.
We did this documentary for the
I'm so
crib.
proud of you, brother.
Thank you, man.
I was so
Appreciate
proud of you.
that made me feel good, man.
I
Real
watched
talk.
you on a podcast with James T. I forgot whose podcast.
Yeah, Robert Henderson, James T.
Yeah, but I was on the whole podcast because I go way back with this Miami shit.
Yeah, that's real.
I go back to the Foxy Lady Strip Club.
That's
on
right.
79th Street.
That's right.
All right?
It's dangerous.
Rick Ross used to come there every week
Yeah.
with a mixtape.
Every week. Tell
Every
everybody,
other week.
people don't understand that. Hey, just so y'all know, Rick Ross released 20 mixtapes before Every Day I'm Hustling.
Yeah.
20 mixtapes. That consists of probably 200 songs,
Yeah.
250 songs before
Yeah.
Every Day I'm Hustling. 7 years. You said how many long it took for that record? Ross probably did 10 years before Every Day I'm Hustling.
Yeah.
He grind.
He was listen, you remember How Can I Be Down?
Yes.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah, definitely.
And Ross, I'm telling you, his life changed
That's real.
when he did Every Day I'm Hustling.
Yeah.
It changed. So it can happen for you. It can happen for you. But I want to commend Spase Jenkins. Before I get to you guys. I talked to Cupid last week. He told me, Jeff, I'm coming to Miami. Spase Jenkins. I said, the niggas right there, they for real. They for real. You guys have done something by bringing South Florida, this whole movement together. And I've been preaching it to people. I do sports radio. I DJ on the side. I'm working at the Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, and Canes. But you guys are doing something special. And you're getting respect around the country, especially in the South. So I want to commend you. That's it.
My man, Jeff. Hey, listen, everybody. Again, in respect of our guest time, we're gonna end this podcast. But I before he runs out of here, I just gotta say, man, big round of applause to Ted Lucas, man, for dropping so many gems tonight. Make sure y'all please check out Miami Kingpins. Everybody download it. Support it, check it out on Prime, very important. Grammy Award winning Rico Love dropping the diamonds tonight. Rico Love, I love you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know you gotta run. No Jwettz in the building, man. We wanted a female new artist perspective. You picked up a lot of gems and you gave a lot of perspective. So thank you so much. Bushy B, you on the rise, King. And I'm glad to be on this journey with you, all right? For real, to watch you rise. Thank you for being a part of this. We love and respect you, King. Spase Jenkins, man, the giants of the promotion game. So these guys inspired me to do the People Manifest. I don't think I ever told you that. But the love that they had for the local artists, I wanted to try to emulate that as well from a radio perspective. And so thank you so much, and I appreciate y'all being here. Everyone here, it was super intentional for you being here. We love you. Let's just take a quick picture and we'll let y'all.
Listen, every artist in here, right? I'm gonna speed this into existence. Get with Spase, sign a record deal with them. I'm gonna partner with them. We're gonna put the record out. I spoke that into existence tonight. Wow. They did hard order. They do a record deal with them, and Rico go right. And Rico go right. I believe in the marketing team with them. I know what they got capability doing. Stop getting greedy. Give them a piece of the record. Do a deal with them. They gonna help the market and promotion, and I'm gonna help them put the record out.
Let's take a picture, everyone. We want to brand you, not the juice.
We're looking here at Pure Photography.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Again, thank you all. There's so many people that's in the audience. That's our family and friends. I don't want to start naming people to leave anybody out, but you know who you are. My team at 1035 The Beat. My favorite chef is in here. I'm making sure I'm not calling out names. Pool's in here. See some other promoters in here. I appreciate y'all. Some Maestro, sons of Maestro in the building. Yeah, man.